$78.25. This was the amount that was needed to pay a bill at the Gordon's household. $78.25 was the amount that my father placed on the dinner table so that he wouldn't forget to pay the bill. $78.25 was the amount that so happened to disappear from the dinner table and so happened to find its way in my drawer. $78.25 was the amount that my father kept asking the family, "Did you see the money?" $78.25 was the amount that I kept hidden, and I even got nervous when my mother wanted to show me the correct way of folding clothes and placing them in my drawer. $78.25 was the amount that she found and told me that I had stolen the money from the family. $78.25 was the amount that I received for a punishment that I will never forget till this day. $78.25 was the amount that I apologized to my father, and he said to me this: "Sorry doesn't mean nothing through words, it's through your action." And when I think about that, that is so true. When we apologize to one another, words don't mean a thing, but actions do. And when I think about that, when dealing with God, when we apologize to God about what we have done that has been against His word, how do we know that He has forgiven? We have heard in our Sunday school classes 101 where it says that God forgives us if we come to Him with a humble heart. But there are many times that when we apologize for the actions that we have done, when we say to ourselves, "Did God really forgive me?" And when you think about that and seriously reflect upon that, the thing that haunts us the most, it's not God, it's us. The guilt that we punish ourselves with is what really runs rapid in our minds. Let's be quite honest. It's the punishment from ourselves that we reflect on, about we feel bad about what we did. First, it's because of we first got caught. And second, the repercussions of what's to come. But do you ever reflect or think about, did God really forgive me? And the words that my father told me and shared with me about, it's not the words, but the actions going forward. And I would like to look at a Bible character that shows us how you can know for yourself, truly know, did God forgive me for what I've done? And this character, we know, David. And in this point in his life, we're going to be looking at 2 Samuel. I want to say it's the 12th chapter. And in looking at this, let me read this for you. And it says this, starting at verse number 19. It says, "But when David saw that his servants were whispering together, he perceived that his child was dead. And David said to his servant, 'Is the child dead?' They said, 'He is dead.' When David rose from the ground, washed, anointed himself, and changed his clothes, he went into the house of the Lord and worshiped. He then went to his own house, and when he asked, they set food before him, and he ate. Then his servant said to him, "What is this thing that you have done? You fasted and you wept for the child while it was alive, but when the child died, you rose and ate food." He said, "While the child was still alive, I fasted and wept, for I said, who knows? The Lord may be gracious to me and the child may live, but now he is dead. Why should I fast? Can I bring him back again? I shall go to him, but he will not return to me." And when we look at this passage in this time of where David is in his life, you have to know what happened, what occurred before this tragic happened. For David was up on the roof. You know this story. He was up on the roof and looking where he should not have been. He should have been in war because it was that season, but he was up on the roof and he sees this beautiful woman bathing, Bathsheba. And we know how this story goes on. David sleeps with her, he impregnates her, and she's married, and he plots a scheme so that her husband can be killed. The plot thickens. You think that Scandal and all of these thrillers have something on the Bible? No, this is quite a story, a thriller that you should engage in. And David goes from there. While this moment in his life, by her being pregnant, he marries her. And we get to this chapter 12 where Nathan comes to David and he tells a story. Many say this is a parable, and we know what parables are. It's a story that Jesus told, have earthly images, but has a heavenly kingdom message in it. So we come to this point where Nathan comes to him, and I wanted to do some Bible teaching at this point. At this point, this is called a juridical parable. Now you might be wondering, what is a juridical parable? This is when you see a person comes to another individual, paints a picture as though they're not talking about that specific person. And when that aha moment comes, they say, the person I'm talking about is you. So Nathan comes to David, he paints this picture to him, this juridical parable, and David sees that who Nathan is talking about is him. David, at this point, asks for forgiveness. And the question is, how would we know that the Lord has forgiven David? How will we know if the Lord has forgiven us? It's quite simple. David's action after this tragic with his son dying was totally different. He didn't go back up on the roof. He didn't go into depression. He did not go and try to find someone else to sleep with. He did not go and try to murder someone else. David's action was he went to the temple to worship the Lord. His action was different from what you might have thought he would have done. So the question of how would I know, how do I know if the Lord has forgiven me? I'll say it like this to get out your way. To understand when you have been forgiven, habits are no more. By you repenting and asking for forgiveness, I'm sorry, Lord, actions go against what used to be habits. This is Reverend Gordon here on the Food Truck, where we say God is doing something special for us on the Me and You. Amen. See you next week.